friends, and happy Friday. Welcome to Flosstube. This is Flosstube number 49. It's May 28th. We're almost through the end of the month. And my name is Jessie. This is Mislaid Pages. Welcome to the new folks. I know there's a bunch of you because several folks mentioned that they came over from Michelle's video about the Trans Bride Tapestry, and I'm excited to meet you. I know that if you're coming over from Michelle's channel that you're already my people because if you're following her and you're a fan of hers, then we believe a lot of the same things, and I'm good with that. So welcome, happy to have you. For all of you who are returning, I'm happy to have you as well. Everybody watching the videos is the reason that I can be here doing this, because without all of you out there watching and commenting, then basically I'm talking to the void, and there's no reason for me to do that week after week, right? So thank you all. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here week after week and watching my videos and participating. So a little bit of disclosure, I just spent 20 minutes filming silence again. Because I got the camera all set up. I walked out of the room to make sure I had coffee and everything was set up. I noticed that I did not have the microphone on when I walked out, and I was like, I'll turn it back. I'll turn it on when I come in so I don't waste the battery. And then of course, when I came back in the room, sat down to film, I had forgotten to turn on the microphone. Fortunately, I didn't spend the entire time, I didn't do the entire video before realizing that there was no sound. So not as bad as that Nickcast video, but I don't remember what I just spent the last 20 minutes talking about. So hopefully you won't miss anything that was fun or important. but yeah, that's where we are today. And that's just, it's just one of those days. I feel like I'm moving through molasses today, because it's not that I feel bad really, either physically or mentally. It's just that it feels so slow today. I just can't get moving. I don't know if you've had days like this, but it's just literally taking me hours to get through the normal process of my day. So thankfully I'm going into a long weekend here, so yeah, I can spend some time resting and recharging after the D-stash. I can spend some time resting and recharging, and I'm looking forward to it, especially because the weather is supposed to cool down over the weekend. It's been in the 90s or higher, and the heat index has been consistently 5 to 6 degrees higher than the actual temperature outside. So it's been feeling like high 90s all week, and it's been humid and disgusting. And I'm ready. It's supposed to be like 70 degrees tomorrow, and I'm excited. I'm excited. So anyway, so life update, other than what you just heard. So this week was my birthday. My birthday was on Tuesday, and so for my birthday, Adam and I spent the day together. It was really low key, but it was fantastic. It was just what I needed, I think. It was just what I wanted. And so we had a sushi lunch, and we went to see Demon Slayer Mugen Train for the second time. It's a fantastic movie, and the first time we saw it subtitled, and so I just discovered that our closest movie theater, which is only just reopened, is showing a dubbed version of it. So we decided to go see the dubbed version to compare and contrast. Sometimes the language is different because of the translations, but sometimes it's just a thing of, did I miss a bunch of action because I was too busy reading subtitles? And it turns out that that I didn't feel like I missed any action. So there weren't any scenes where I was like, wow, I didn't realize that had happened, or I didn't see that, or that piece of animation is something I don't recall. So so I was kind of impressed with myself from that angle. But it was just it's a really good movie. And the parts that got me the first time got me the second time. And an additional part at the end that I had not noticed or remembered the first time, because I was so busy being emotional over the scene the first time, that I missed this little bit at the end, really got me this time because I hadn't seen it the first time. So it was very emotional. It was very emotional, but it's such a good movie. If you watch Demon Slayer at all, you have to go see the movie, because it's just, one, it's going to be an integral part of the story overall. It picks up right where the end of the season ended, literally right where the season ended. It picks up right there, and then I'm sure that the next season is going to pick up right where the movie ends. So it's basically like a several episode story arc that you need to see before you move on with the rest of the series. So I'm excited to see where it's going to go. But yeah, so we saw that, and you know, we just had fast food dinner afterward because that's what was available to us at the time, and we had ice cream, and then we drove around in the car for a little while because we were jamming to the radio and just having a good time, vibing with each other, and then we came home and we watched Army of the Dead on Netflix with David Bautista. Um, that movie. I would not have watched it on my own. But it did have Tig Notaro in it, and Tig Notaro, I don't really appreciate Tig Notaro's comedy a whole lot, like her stand-up comedy, but I love her as a human being, and I love her in the movies and the television shows that I've seen her in. She plays a recurring character on Star Trek Discovery, and I love that character. And the character that she plays on Army of the Dead is a very similar kind of person, and so I loved seeing her in the movie. She was one of the best things about the movie. And I will say that I had like my expectations for the movie were like zero, because I'm not a fan of zombie movies to start with. And, you know, as much as I like Dave Bautista and some of the stuff that he's been in, you know, especially when he plays Drax in the Marvel movies, as much as I like him in some of those roles, he's not an actor that I just watch because I love him so much. And so I had zero expectations. So it far exceeded my expectations. It's not a fantastic movie unless you just really like watching B-grade movies to make fun of them. Um, but it's an okay movie. Like, I don't feel like I need those 2 hours of my life back. But it's not a huge feat of cinematic excellence. But it was watchable. And, you know, there were some characters that I really loved. Like I said, I loved Tig Notaro. So yeah, that was how we ended our evening. And it was a really nice evening overall. It was a really nice day overall. So I really enjoyed that. And then I got to go to dinner with my brother last night. We had fancy seafood and lobster tails. He treated me to a birthday dinner, and that was really nice too. So my birthday week has been pretty good overall, despite the fact that I felt physically not terribly great. I don't know if I'm fighting off some kind of something, but I've not felt it may also be the season, because this time of year, especially when it starts to get really hot and humid, that sort of temperature pressure change stuff really affects me. And so I've just kind of felt icky all week. And you know, I'm starting to feel better, but it's been a bit of a struggle this week. So so yeah, so that's been my week. The week's been pretty good. Overall, I would say it's been pretty good. But I am a little low energy today just because it's like just trying to get through the molasses that is the day. I don't know why. But yeah, so how was your week? How's everybody else's week been? I hope you've been having the best week that's available to you. I know for a lot of us, everything is opening back up, like as of this minute or tonight or something. I'm not exactly sure the specific time, but Virginia is basically like, let's open up everything now, which is a little nerve-wracking, but I guess it's exciting. I'm actually probably less excited than most people because I'm starting to realize that when there are no longer restrictions on occupancy and things like that, that means everything's going to get super crowded again. And I don't like crowds. I never liked crowds before COVID. I'm certainly not a fan of them now. So less excited than maybe other people are. But and it does seem interesting to me that it's happening just as Memorial Day happens. So planning. Yeah. So okay, let's talk about some friend mail and some happy mail. So my explanation of these is not going to be as great the second time around, I can guarantee you. But earlier this week, I got a package from an Etsy shop that I had never shopped at before. And so I was like, what is this? But it was addressed to me. I opened it up and it turned out to be a birthday gift from a friend of mine named Beth. And it's fantastic. It's so awesome. So she does this. This is what she does. Is she will just randomly send gifts to her friends. And she's such a fantastic person. I love it. Not just because she buys gifts, but because she's very supportive. She's an awesome person. And I don't know if she actually watches, but but thank you, Beth. I appreciate you. So yeah, so I got this hand-turned piece of gorgeousness. It's all purple and swirly. And the fun thing is these ends come off. And so this end is a seam ripper. I don't know if you could tell, but that end is a seam ripper, and then you can put it back into the handle. That's the word I'm looking for. And the other side is similar, but the other side is a needle threader, and I don't think you can see this on camera. The threader is so thin, which is so nice because I don't have a needle threader that is thin enough for my 24 size needles right now, or 26 size needles. So yeah, it's really awesome. I will try to remember to put the Etsy shop in the description. I did have the card with the box, but I've misplaced the card somewhere. So I'll make sure if you're interested in checking this shop out. This items actually are really nice. And so there's also, so this is the double-handled seam ripper needle threader. and this keychain piece, it looks like it's just a keychain, but it's hiding a secret. So you can actually untwist the keychain part, and then you can store your needles in there. So it's a really pretty and stylish way to carry needles and your seam ripper and your needle threader. So super awesome. I appreciate Beth so much for sending these to me. It was such a nice surprise, because I don't often get stuff like that. So it was really nice to just to see the box come in and go, what is this? And open it and realize that it was something special just for me. So thank you, Beth. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. It was a really nice surprise earlier this week. So that's the friend mail. And then I got my latest Kate. And I get, I'm a patron of hers on Patreon, and that means that at the level that I support her, I get 2 5x7 prints and a magnet every month. And the prints and the magnet are all based on artwork that she's done for the selected themes for that particular month. So the magnet is here. Hopefully you can see that clearly. I can't tell on the camera. So it says, you're still making progress even on your worst days. And it's a sort of Chinese style dragon. That's the magnet. And here's the first one. It's a cute little sort of purple and blue bobcat, baby bobcat. And it says, you can be grateful and depressed at the same time. You're not a bad person for struggling to find joy in things right now. I think that's really important to remind ourselves, is that, you know, a lot of people will say fake it until you make it. And I think in some cases, pretending to be or choosing to be happy can be beneficial. It can help you get to a better place. But in a lot of cases, I think it's important to just recognize where you are and not try to force yourself to feel things that you don't feel or be happy if you're not happy. So there's a balance. There's always a balance. You have to find out what's going to work for you. And then this other one is a baby otter. You deserve full entire days of rest. Very nice. So many of us are just on the go and trying to do, and your to-do list just keeps getting longer and longer, and you feel like you can't tackle it. And so you keep feeling like you don't deserve to take a break until you get to a certain place in your work. And sometimes you just need to put a pause on work and take that break and take an entire day to yourself. It's important. So those are the latest Kates. Let's see, I think I've forgotten something, so let me pause for just a second. I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. I thought I had more happy mail, but I don't. I think Teal Teacup is running late this month on their shipping of their Patreon gifts, so I don't have my pins from Gail yet, but they are going to be fantastic. I think Michelle already showed them over on Bendy Stitchy, so I won't bother describing them right here. I will talk about them when they come in, but I'm excited. I actually had to up my patron level because of the extra this month, so I'm super excited to receive those. So I did just remember that I forgot, since I talked about it in the first recording that didn't happen because of the sound. I forgot to talk about D-Stash and about the giveaway. So so D-Stash, I'm all ready for the D-Stash tomorrow. I I've got about 30 items or so. Some of those are possibly going to be bundled. We'll figure it out tomorrow. But I've got my spreadsheet all set up. Got all that stuff set up, ready to go. That's going to be at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, May 29th, 11 a.m. Eastern. So that's going to be 8 a.m. Pacific for those folks over on the West Coast. It's going to be like 4 p.m. in Ireland, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rachel, because I think we're 5 hours apart. And then it's 6 hours for most of Western Europe, like Germany and the UK and that kind of stuff. So it should be about 5 p.m. in most of Europe. So that covers most everybody. You folks in Australia and parts out that way, I think it's going to be more like midnight on Sunday. So I apologize for that. But I hope I have some stuff, a little bit of stuff for everybody. It's not as much. I was hoping to have a lot of de-stash fabric, but it turns out that I really still am in love with most of the colors of fabric that I have. So I apologize for that. There's a couple pieces. There are a couple pieces of dyed fabric. There's also some pre-packaged fabric. So I will have fabrics for you if that's something that you're looking for. There's some floss, there's some knitting stuff, including yarn and knitting accessories, as well as some cross-stitch accessories and a couple of cross-stitch kits. So hopefully a little bit of something for everybody. Hopefully it's stuff that y'all will be interested in, so we'll see. But yeah, that's going to be 11 a.m. tomorrow. I should be all set up with Nightbot and everything. A few of you caught me testing things out yesterday afternoon. I was really I had started out with an unlisted video just to try to test some stuff out, but then realized that Nightbot doesn't work unless the video is public. So I was I was thinking I could just kind of like sneak in under the radar and mess with a few settings. But a few of you were notified that I was going live, so you jumped in and helped me out a little bit. So I appreciate that. So thank you if you jumped in. If you watched the live after, you weren't supposed to be able to, but it turns out that I guess because you already got a notification that I was going live, that gave you the link. So even though I made it unlisted in replay, I got at least one comment after the fact. So sorry about that. It was supposed to not be visible after that. So yeah, because it was a whole lot of silence. I had my mic muted the whole time, and then half the time I had the camera covered. So yeah, that was not supposed to go up. But anyway, so thanks those of you who jumped into the live yesterday and helped me out. We'll probably still do a couple of practice runs once I get the live going tomorrow morning, just to make sure Nightbot is doing what it's supposed to do. There was an issue with it only letting people win once, which may have been it may have been a thing of me needing to refresh something, and that might be because I started with an unlisted video and then went public. So hopefully that's way meta and you don't need to know that, but but I should have that sorted, so everything should be fine tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. It'll be my first time doing any kind of de-stash live like this, my first time using a Nightbot and all that sort of stuff. So I hope it all works out well. I hope it all works out like it's supposed to, and I appreciate your patience if anything goes wrong. So, and I look forward to chatting with you all tomorrow. Hopefully most folks can make it. I know it's a holiday weekend for folks here in the US, so if you're not available for a live, I get it. But that was part of the reason that I chose this weekend, was because I have more time to get things together, more time to recover afterward, all that sort of stuff. In addition to the de-stash items, I will be giving away one of the Trans Pride tapestry charts tomorrow. I am giving away a couple of those today in this video. That'll happen a little bit later. We had a little over 20 folks express interest in the Trans Pride tapestry, basically enter for the Trans Pride tapestry. So since there were more than 20 but less than 30, we're going to give away 2 charts today. I have those winners selected. We'll talk about them in a little while, but I'll also be giving away another chart tomorrow during the live de-stash. And the only thing you have to do to be eligible to win the Trans Pride tapestry chart tomorrow is just be in the live and participate in the live. So you will want to fill out the Google form, and you will want to be 18, but other than that, you don't have to purchase anything. You don't have to do anything except maybe enter a keyword when I do the giveaway. So yeah, so that's available. So if you didn't win today and you still want to win the Transpride Tapestry, I'm giving another one away tomorrow. There might be other giveaways. I'm not sure. I don't do that as a teaser. I'm not, it's not meant to be a stinger. It's just, I haven't decided yet. I have a couple of things that I might decide to give away, but I haven't really decided that yet. So there may be other giveaways, but there is definitely going to be a copy of the Transpride Tapestry given away tomorrow on the live. So yeah, so check it out. Even if you are in a no buy or can't purchase for any other reason, which is totally fine, please come and hang out at the live. You're absolutely welcome, regardless of any purchasing status. Just know that. But I do have some stuff that I hope might have a better home than mine here, where I'm not using it. So so yeah, so that's tomorrow. Let's see, I'm trying to think of where I am. Let's talk about whips. Let's talk about the whips. So this week, because of everything, I haven't stitched a whole bunch. I've knitted a fair bit, and I did talk about that on Knitcast on Wednesday, which almost didn't get posted because I uploaded it and then forgot about it. It is what it is. Oh, speaking of uploads that have been forgotten about. So I had totally meant to post my unboxing of the Black Needle Society Rainbow Stitches box this past Monday. I have recorded the video. I haven't edited the video yet, and then I had a backup video to put on instead since I didn't have that video ready, and I totally forgot to post it on Monday. So Miscellaneous Monday was just missing Monday. And I apologize for that. Hopefully I'll get the unboxing edited this weekend so it can go up before June 1st, because it's definitely a pride box. Definitely. So unboxing for the Black Needle Society Rainbow Stitches should be this coming Monday, and I hope to get a sneak peek of that up for my patrons before the end of the weekend, so that you actually have a chance to watch it early if you want to. So that's that. Now let's talk about the whips. So as I said again, I did mostly knitting this week, but I did get a little bit of progress on my irises here. This is the only thing I've worked on this week. I was super just like hyper focused on it for the last week or two, and then the hyper focus just kind of like fizzled. Part of it was I was super busy Saturday. I didn't get any stitching. I think Friday and Saturday I was really busy and didn't get any stitching done because of everything else that was going on. And then Sunday I had stitching time, but I didn't feel well, so I ended up pretty much just sitting this aside, and then I didn't get the stitching bug at all this week. Now I might stitch on it this weekend. I do have a model stitch that I need to put some stitches in, so if and when I stitch this weekend, it's probably going to be on irises or it'll be on the model stitch. So we shall see. I don't have specific stitchy plans other than I would like to stitch at some point this weekend. So we'll see. But yeah, so I've made a little bit of progress. I had finished the iris as of last week, and you can see I've got a little bit of the green leafy bits around the iris, but still quite a bit to go. So definitely won't be a June finish, or a May finish, I mean. Excuse me. Since I only have this weekend to finish this, or to work on this before switching gears and moving on to other things. And as I said, I'm kind of already in a place where I'm ready to switch gears. So my brain has evidently decided that it got to the point that it wanted to get on this. And so it's ready to put it aside, which is fine. I mean, I got a lot of work done on this. And it's certainly one of those that once I get super into it again, it's going to go really quickly. So yeah, I have a lot of stuff that I want to do in June, and it's totally fine to sit this down for a little while. It's gotten quite a bit of love and attention. So so yeah, so stitchy plans for this weekend. I might work on irises some more. I have a model stitch that I should put some stitches in on, so those are probably my only specific stitchy plans for this weekend. Now next week we'll bring a new start. I plan to start something new on June 1st. I talked about last week my 3 stitchy goals, or my 3 stitchy starts for June. So that's going to be Relentless from Ink Circles. It's going to be the Transpride Tapestry from D's 20 Stitches, and also the Twisted Rainbow Sampler from Northern Expressions Needlework. So those are my 3 new starts for June. I don't know when I'm going to start each one. I know that one of them is going to get started on June 1st. because June 1st is the beginning of Pride, and so I need to stitch one of my Pride stitches. I need to get one of them started on June 1st, and then I'll figure out when and how I want to start the others over the course of the month. Now, as far as what to start, I don't know. I think it's going to come down to what I feel like stitching at the time. I have black Lugana, and I have the silk pack for the Twisted Rainbow sampler, so I can start that. I have picked out some preliminary conversions for Relentless, so it's it is designed in DMC, but I've picked out some Dinky Dyes conversions, though I was just thinking I might go back through and redo my conversions. Part of it was I basically took the DMCs and I compared the silks that I had on hand to see which ones match the DMCs the best, but then the more I'm thinking about it, I might actually rework the color palette just a little bit because I'm not sure that it's as rainbowy as I want it to be. So I might actually switch the conversions up a little bit and pick my own colors. So we'll see. We'll see. A lot will depend on how much I trust my color sense and how much I think that the colors I pick are going to blend, if they're going to blend as well as the ones that Tracy has originally designed. So we'll see. Excuse me, we'll see. I'm super congested, and I guess it's just I think it's the time of year and the temperature and the humidity. It has been in the low 90s temperature wise, but the heat index has been 5 degrees higher every single day for the last week and a half, and the humidity is just off the charts. It's probably not that high. It feels off the charts. It's like walking out into a wet, hot, steamy blanket, and it's gross, and I hate it. Yeah, I am not a heat person, but it's supposed to cool off this weekend, so I'm very, very excited about that because I can't deal with the humid heat. It's so gross, and it's just like my whole head is just blah. Okay, anyway. So Relentless, I have silks for, though I'm not sure if I'm settled on the colors that I've picked, and I need to pick fabric for that. I have fabric, I just haven't decided what fabric that should go on. Now I have a big enough piece of black Lugana, I could put Relentless on black Lugana, and if I did that, I could maybe skip stitching all of the black on that chart. So that's a possibility. So yeah. That's a thing. And then for Trans Pride Tapestry, I actually need to get my, I don't have the flosses for that. I haven't checked through my stash to see. I probably have most of it on hand. I think most of what I would need would be whatever color I'm going to use for the, or whatever floss I'm going to use for the main unicorn body. I think it's charted either in Etoile or Diamant, and I don't have either of those on hand, so I would have to purchase those. But I'm actually thinking of going with a DMC satin for the unicorn's body, so I need to purchase some flosses for that. But I have a piece of fabric that I think is going to be fabulous for it, and I'll show it to you in a little bit. But yeah, so I'm basically the only thing that I can start right this second, if I was forced to start something right this minute, would be the Twisted Rainbow sampler. So maybe I'll start that on June 1st, but that's not, as much as I want to do that and I am excited about that start, that's not the start I'm most excited about. So we'll see. So yeah. So that's plans for the time being. Also, the WIPGO numbers were called yesterday. So WIPGO is sort of like a bingo situation for your WIPs, which are your works in progress. I know Michelle's talked about this a lot. I can never remember whether Rachel's actually doing WIPGO. I think Rachel intended to do WIPGO and then she ended up not being able to. But anyway, it's the brainchild of Jessie Marie Sites. There's a Facebook group, and she is Jessie Marie Does Stuff on Instagram. So you can follow her in both of these places, and you can join in on WIPGO as well if you want to. And you basically set up a bingo board, but it has WIPGO across the top instead of bingo. and you put whatever whips you want to work on during the year on the board, and then each month 2 numbers are called. January, 3 numbers were called because one of the first squares that was called was the free space, so she called a third square. So this month's numbers are 1 and 17. For me, that means I'm working on the whips that I'm working on for June are the Dark Queen of the Sea, Sal, and Stitch Along, and the and Yoga Corns, which was a stitch along that Rachel and Heike and I started last year. Now Heike's done all 3 unicorns, so Yoga Corns. So the whole situation here is that Yoga Corns is a set of 3 triptychs, basically, from Little House in the Attic, and not Little House in the Attic, Little Room in the Attic on Etsy, which is she's a fantastic designer. I think her name is Marina. I forget what it is, but she's a fantastic designer. She's one of those European/Russian style designers who make the sort of watercolory art with lots of backstitching to create the lines and the sketchy looking, the sketchness of it, the sketch aesthetic, I guess you could say. So she's one of those that has the intense backstitching. And but there are 3 sets of 3 unicorns, and the idea was that each of the 3 of us was going to do a different set of yoga corns, and we were all going to start stitching it at the same time, and we did. And then Rachel and I have sort of kind of been hit or miss with going back to yoga corns. Rachel's farther along than I am. I think she has a fully complete yoga corn, whereas I have a completely cross-stitched yoga corn but no backstitching. Heike has 3 finished yoga corns, but Heike also decided she was going to do all 3 sets. So technically speaking, Heike is just as far along as we are, because she's a third of the way finished with her goal, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, Heike being the overachiever, yeah, she has a lot more yoga corns finished than the rest of us. I am definitely in 3rd place. Not that it's a competition, but yeah, we started it as a stitch along together last year, and this is where we are now. So I'll show you where I am with yoga corns. So I'm probably not going to take the time to try to put the original picture in here, but this is my yoga corn, and you may or may not be able to tell, she is completely stitched cross stitch wise, so I have all the stitches finished for cross stitching, but now I have to go back and do the back stitch. So that's where I'll be starting in June, is with the back stitch. Now my WIPGO goal is 500 stitches, but I'm going to call it 5 hours or 500 stitches, because the first thing I need to do is back stitch this beauty before moving on to the second yoga corn. So with any luck, I'll get the back stitching finished and still be able to stitch on the second yoga corn, but we'll see. This fabric is a 32 count linen. I believe the colorway is Unipu. It's definitely a Mystic fabric. Loki is sitting at my feet, like looking at me. You trying to help me? You trying to help? Huh? What you want? It's definitely a Mystic fabric, 32 count linen, like I said. It's opalescent. Hi, baby. What you want? What do you want? Hmm? He hears me struggling and he's trying to help me. So anyway. So yes, Mystic fabric. This is a gorgeous piece of fabric. And the next thing I need to decide as well is whether I'm going to take, I think I'm going to make the chart is designed for the yoga corns to go horizontally. So theoretically, if I can hold this up here, theoretically, the other 2 yoga corns would go across this way. But if I wanted to, I could have them go vertically instead. But I think ultimately, especially for the sake of using this fabric for other things, I think I'll just have them go vertically, because then I can cut off the fabric, a few inches below where they are, and that's still a little bit more than a fat 1/8 that I can use on something else, which will be awesome, because this fabric is gorgeous. It's very wrinkly, so it's harder to tell, but it's a gorgeous, gorgeous piece of fabric. So that is yoga corns. That's box number 17 on my WIPGO board. And I think Rachel and Heike are going to be excited for me to have to work on that. And then box number 1 is Dark Queen of the Sea. So this is Autumn Lane Stitchery. The design is. And where I think part 10 was just released, I am very, very far behind, but that's okay. I don't care. I didn't start it. I think the stitch along actually started in September last year, and I didn't start it until at least October, I believe. So, so I started out a month late anyway, and then I've been very, very far behind because I've been working on other things. And this is a massive, massive piece. So to give you an idea of the scale, if you're unaware of this chart, pardon, if you're unaware of this chart, this is an 11 by 11 Q snap that I am holding her on, and you can see that like her torso takes up most of the space in an 11 by 11 Q snap. So this is, she's a large, what is the word? She's a large person, a large creature, I was trying to think of something regal and I couldn't think of a word. So yeah, she's quite a large girl. Yeah, so she is my second whip go goal. So my goal for her is 500 stitches. 500 stitches on this particular stitch along is nothing. It is nothing at all. So 500 stitches might get you a whole fish, maybe. I know that further down here, where the last drop was, the last part of the pattern that was released, is basically a giant tentacle, and there are 500 or 5,000, like 5,500 stitches. Pippa actually counted. There are 5,500 stitches in that one tentacle, and that is just a fraction of the overall size. So 500 stitches is going to be nothing. So my whip go goal is 500 stitches. My actual goal is as many stitches as I can humanly put into this without burning myself out. So, so yeah, so the chart is from Autumn Lane Stitchery. The stitch along is still going. I think it probably ends, I would say, at the end of August, because if it started in September, then August should be the last release. So yeah, the fabric is my own personal fabric. I dyed this myself. Someday I hope to actually be able to create enough of this fabric that I can actually put it in the Etsy shop. I keep trying and my plans keep getting thwarted, and the difficulty in accessing fabric is one of the big things right now. So I had really hoped to have a chance to dye a fair bit of fabric before June so that I could actually have some Pride fabric for June, but it didn't work out for a lot of different reasons. Someday. But this is my own dyed fabric, and it's something that I'm incredibly proud of. So I'm very excited to get back to her because I love working on this fabric. It's a 28 count Lugana. Opalescent Lugana that I dyed myself, and I call this colorway Borealis, just FYI. Not that it matters, but I call it Borealis. So yeah, so those are my whip go pieces. So in the month of June, theoretically, I will be working on 5, possibly 6 different pieces. So we'll have Relentless as a new start, we'll have Twisted Rainbow Sampler as a new start, we'll have Trans Pride Tapestry as a new start, and then I'll have my whip go Yoga Corns and my Dark Queen of the Sea stitch along, and then also the model stitch, the mystery model stitch that I never talk about. So I'm hoping to, I really need to get a move on with the mystery model stitch so that I can get it finished and off my plate. So those are all the plans. Those are all the plans for the weekend, for the beginning of the month, so on and so forth. So let's talk about we'll talk about my purchases, which are fairly few, and then I will talk winners, and then I will let you go. How's that sound? So I got my yeah, so I got my Color and Cotton. I got my excuse me, sorry. So I got my Color and Cotton Threads of the Month for May, and I also got my very first, actually no, this is my second Color and Cotton Fabric of the Month. Excuse me. So all of those are coming in one package now, which is really nice. Excuse me. For my thread of the month, I get 3 primitive colors and I get 5 bright colors. So let us look at the primitive colors first. So here are the primitive colors. I'll hold up my pale hand behind here so you can see it. So let's see, this first color is Cremini. It's a nice sort of pale gray, named after a mushroom. This is Sagebrush, which has a little bit of a greenish tinge. I'm trying to hold it. I guess I should get a white card to hold up. Oh, I could have done that. Okay. They gave me a white card. Let me try this again. So, Cremini. And Sagebrush. And this is Hickory, which is a nice, rich brown. Very nice. And then for the brights, let's look at the brights. And the primitives all say special edition, and the brights all say limited edition. So I guess that's because these are Thread Club threads. I'm not really sure. Let's look at the brights. So here are the brights. Really, really pretty. We're gonna go from the back. So we have Apricot. We have Crocus, which is a gorgeous flower. Gorgeous purple for, or lilac kind of color for a flower. We have Delft Blue. I just realized I'm reading these upside down. I don't know if everybody can do that. This doesn't say what this is. It's a limited edition green. It doesn't actually have a color name on there. And we have, oh, another limited edition green. Okay, so all of these, oh, okay. So these two greens, this sort of really pale minty one, and the darker one. These are limited editions, and they don't have a name. So those are two of the colors that I got this month. So those are all the threads, and then the fabric I get is 28 count. Yes, 28 count Lugana, and this month's color is Kiwi. So Kiwi. Apparently today the color of the day is green. Just FYI. That's really pretty. Very, very pretty. And I guess I'll go ahead and I'll hold it all the way up. It seems like I'm rushing. It's only because my throat is burning and I'm concerned about how much coughing I'm going to continue to do while I'm trying to film this. So that's really gorgeous. Okay, so that is the fabric and that is the floss, and those are really, really gorgeous. I got also the last purchase I have is the fabric that I purchased for the Trans Pride tapestry from D's 20 Stitches. And so what was I? Oh, so I got this from Kathy Davidson, Dying for Cross Stitch. What was it? She had posted about having some, I've completely lost my train of thought, I apologize. She had posted about having some ready to ship fabrics, and I think that's what prompted me to go back, because I had just purchased from her recently, and I think that's what prompted me to go back, was to check out what fabric she had for ready to ship, because I didn't want to buy anything that was a pre-order or, you know, had to be dyed. Because I want to be able to start Trans Pride Tapestry during June. I don't want to have to wait until after June. So, so I went to look at her ready to ship flosses, or fabrics, not flosses, fabrics. And I saw this particular dye that I hadn't noticed anything from her in this particular style ever before. And the colors were just, I thought, spot on. So let me show you. When I saw it, I was like, I have to get this for Trans Pride Tapestry. I just have to. So I ended up getting, this is a 32 count linen, and I got linen because the colors are more vibrant on linen. Let me show you. Let me show you. So these are not actually trans colors. These are, this is more the bi flag color, but look at how gorgeous this is. So we start with this gorgeous, gorgeous pink, and it just transitions to this deep, gorgeous purple. Ugh, can you not? Can you not? It's so, so pretty. So I saw this and I was like, I think Trinkets, who is, which is the name I have chosen for my for my trans pride unicorn, Trinkets, I think, is going to look majestic on this fabric. So I just had to get this, and I think I'm actually going to orient it this way. I think so. Trinkets is a big girl. My particular unicorn is a trans female, I've decided. So your trans unicorn can be any gender that you would like. If you would prefer that your unicorn be non-binary, if you prefer that your unicorn be a trans man, that's totally fine. Trinkets, my unicorn, is a trans woman, and she's a big girl, and so she's going to take up pretty much the entire width, including the extra for framing. So, because I think when I did the math on 32 count, it was like 18.5 inches, which includes 3 inches on each side for ease, for framing. So technically speaking, with the extra, so this will be big enough for the entire width of the project plus 2.5 inches on each side. So she's going to take up the entire width of the fabric. So if I orient it this way and I place her centered, we should get pretty much all of the fade there, I think, or at least most of the fade, because I think probably about this much of the top and about this much of the bottom are going to be outside of the fabric and the ease and stuff. So I think we'll still get a good fade if I do it that way. So yes, this is my Trans Pride tapestry fabric for Trinkets, the Trans Pride unicorn. So yeah. So yes, I'm very excited about that. So speaking of Trans Pride Tapestry, let's talk about that giveaway. So as I said, I had a few more than 20 folks enter. So that means I get to give away 2 charts. And I know a bunch of people had already purchased their charts, and that's awesome. Please do. If you didn't win, please feel free to purchase a chart. As both I said last week and Michelle said last week, by purchasing this chart, not only are you supporting the original artist who provided the artwork for the chart, you're also supporting several trans positive groups that are helping to aid trans people in the US and in Canada, and all of that is really, really awesome. So so definitely purchase your own chart if you don't win it. But I want to congratulate, I have them written down over here. I'm gonna also put their comments up here. I want to congratulate Ann DaCosta, and you've been following the channel at least since Season of Smalls last year. So congratulations. I'm happy to be sending this to you. And also Tara Serio, who I believe is new to the channel. So congratulations to both of you. I am so happy to be sending you these charts. So I'm going to use the email that you provided in the Happy Mail form, and I'm going to be purchasing the chart on Kari's website. And I'm going to be using your email address for delivery of the chart. So you will receive those charts directly from Kari and her website once I've purchased that. And I will get those purchased before the end of the weekend. That way you can have them before June 1st for all of your Pride stitching fun. So you don't have to start on June 1st if you don't want to, but in case you do want to start on June 1st, I will make sure that you have those electronic charts to you as quickly as possible. So congratulations to both of you. Thank you all for supporting the Trans Pride tag, and for putting your names in for that chart. I would love to have given away more, but 2 charts was really awesome. That was more comments than I've had on probably any of my videos so far. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much for putting in for that. And remember that you can still win another copy. You can still win a copy of the Transpride Tapestry Unicorn tomorrow during the live D-Stash. So that's 11 a.m. Eastern. So definitely check that out. I'm not sure when during the live I'm going to be giving it away, but it will happen during the live stream. Live stream will probably be, I would say, it won't be less than an hour. It'll probably be at least 2 hours, possibly longer. I'm going to try to go through all of the items I have, and I do have about 30 items or so. So possibly 3 hours. I don't really want to go longer than 3 hours, but if we need to go longer than 3 hours, we will. So that is that. So congratulations to the winner. Thank you all so much for your support for LGBTQIA plus folks. Thank you so much for your support for Pride Month and for trans people in general. Thank you so much for your support of my channel, and of me as a Flosstuber and a creator. And I can't thank you enough for all of it. It's really been awesome for me to see all of the outpouring of love and support for the entire LGBTQIA plus community between my channel and Michelle's channel, and hanging out in her live and having so many people be that supportive of the whole thing is pretty awesome. So, and I know that Dee's 20 Stitches has already raised a lot of money and donated a lot of money to those organizations, and I'm so happy to be part of getting the word out and helping to raise those funds. So thank you so much for helping me. Thank you so much for helping Dee, and for helping all of the organizations that Dee has been able to support. So okay, folks, that's all I have for you. So before I have another coughing attack, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna try to relax the rest of the day, get ready for tomorrow, because the live is gonna be fun, but it's also going to be exhausting, I know. As much fun as I have, I do need a lot of recharging after an extroverted activity like that. So, but I look forward to chatting with you tomorrow. I look forward to finding out what y'all are working on this weekend and what plans you have for June and for Pride and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully I will chat with you all tomorrow. And if I don't chat with you tomorrow, then, I will see you when I see you. And remember, as always, to stay hydrated, which might be part of my problem. Stay hydrated, take all the meds that you need to take, and remember that you are enough. And if I don't see you tomorrow, I will see you next time. Have a great one, everyone.